Shalom aleichem, akhawati, khathwati, azize. Hello everyone, this is Maher Avraham. This is chapter 4, recording of the 4th edition. The notes for everyone starting from chapter 4 till chapter 10. Textbook is required, and you can order your textbook from this website, AramaicStudy.org. In this chapter, we're gonna study some basic grammar to help us with the grammars we're gonna have in chapter 7 and 8. In this chapter, we're gonna some of these already were mentioned in previous two chapters, chapter 2 and 3, and we're gonna go over those again with a little bit more details and examples. For example, the hard and soft letters, we have 6 letters. We learned that when we have a single dot or semicircle underneath it, they're gonna give us they're gonna change the sounds of the vowel. Also, the letter ḥ sounds in the spoken language, and I mentioned that when sometimes it sounds х. When we have a big dot, we put a big dot as a modifier on the top of that one. And we're going to study the two accents we have, the two major accents in the Eastern dialect, the mountain accent and the Nineveh plain accent, about this letter, ḥ letter. And then we're going to cover more in details the preposition in Syriac. We're going to do the dependent preposition and independent prepositions. We already learned that there are 4 letters are acting as a preposition with a noun, and they give different meaning. Beth, Daleth, Waw, and Lameth. And we're going to know more about words preposition. Also, we're going to talk about the plural and then the feminine and masculine form, and we're going to start talking about the third person auxiliary verbs. Is and are. For example, he is, she is, they are, in the format of the first person, second person, and third person. Why we need this one? We need to study about is and are, because we need to start building our skills with the language. So we're gonna have some statements and using them in the examples while we're studying this chapter, the next 2 chapters as well. And finally, at the end, we're gonna cover the question words in the Syriac, just to know about how we're gonna ask a question in Syriac. The hard and soft letters, if you are using size of the page 9 by 7, this topic is in page 67. As we mentioned before, that we have 6 letters. They change the sounds when we have dot underneath it, or underneath or under the letter. One of those letter has a semicircle to change the sounds of that one. If you look at the table, by the way, Appendix C can have more rules and more information about that one. If you wanna go in deep with this language, you have Appendix C for more details. If you look at the table, we have in page 67, the first letter was Beth. The first letter is Beth, and the dot under the Beth is going to give me the sounds of wow, W, as in kthawa. Look at the red. You may have a black and white textbook, but Beth dot underneath it is wow, so it's going to be kthawa. Book or to write. Gamal and dot underneath it is going to give me, I don't have any sounds in English for this, gamal dot underneath it, but is g, like paghra, paghra, body. Dalath and dot underneath it is going to give me the sounds of th, the, like in the. And examples I have here is raqada, dancer, raqada. The next letter is cap, and dot under the cap is giving me the sounds of kh, like Schumacher, kh. Okay, and I have two words, dukhrana and bakhta. Dukhrana, bakhta. Bakhta, wife or woman. The next one is p, and the semicircle underneath it is giving me the sounds of wow. Again, w, wow. Like I have two words here, nausha and rusha. Do you see the P and semicircle underneath it? It sounds W. Wow. Nausha, rusha. And finally, tau and dot underneath the tau is giving me the second sounds of TH, th, like in third. And I have example here, ؐcatholiqa, 깠θολίκα. The next topic is the letter ḥ sounds in the spoken language. This letter ḥ really it's something with among our Syriac people in the north and Nineveh plain accent. Basically, the mountain accent, which is the north accent, the mountain accent, always the sounds of ḥ is х, like Schumacher, х. If you, regardless what is going to be the spoken language or the classical language, the sounds is х. For the Nineveh plain accent, okay, which is honestly the book, this book is based on Nineveh plain accent. This ḥ has two sounds. The first sounds, okay, it's original ḥ, the heavy accent ḥ, only used when the word is religion or spiritual language word, or it's barely used in a spoken language. Sometimes we use the classical word, okay, from the classical language, and has the ḥ, we use the ḥ in that one. So basically, if you're gonna have a religion or a spiritual word with the ḥ, the sound says ḥ, the heavy H accent. Some of those examples on page 68, the top one from right column, we have shuha, shuha, ruha, spirit, mshiha, Christ, shliha, messenger. The second column, tishbuhta, hasha, hubba, hawa. See here, all of them ḥ, and we don't put the big dot above that one like we learned when we studied the letter ḥ in the previous chapter. And the second one, it sounds ch, like in Schumacher, and we put the dot above the ḥ, the modifier, dot above the ḥ. Okay, that is when the word is not a religion or spiritual word. Some of the example in the same page, 68, milcha. You see that ḥayth has a big dot and ثقافة. ملخة, with this, which means salt. مشخة, oil. خمارة, donkey. خمرة, wine. Look at the khamra. The big dot is override the upper dot of pthaha, so it's gonna look like this one, khamra. And khlula, wedding, which means a wedding party. Also we have milk, khalwa. Okay, and that is where I mentioned about the dot, the big dot override the pthaha vowel. However, I have a note there. It says in the classical Syriac language, lishana atiqa, ḥayth is always sounds as heavily accent h or h in the Nineveh Plain dialogue lishana tishta. So in the classical language, ḥayth is always ḥayth in Nineveh Plain accent. لشان الدشتة. The next topic is the preposition in Syriac. The dependent preposition, we learned those dependent preposition. We have 4 letters are acting like a preposition in Syriac, and they join the noun at the beginning. So they're going to be the first letter of the noun, which is going to be the extra one. Okay, these letters, they can be together in one word. Is called abdol. Abdol. Beth, Dalath, Waw, Lamath. Examples in the bottom of page 68. Beth, which means with, okay, has many meanings here, more than one meaning, with, by, in, and at. Let's just take an example of each one. When it means with, okay, example, ثالخ بشلامة. ثالخ بشلامة. بشلامة. With peace you came. To the second person male. And means by, okay, كثولي بقنية. By pen I wrote. كثولي بقنية. بقنية. Means comes as in a meaning of in, like in a location. بهيكلة, example, بهيكلة, in a temple. بهيكلة. And also means at, to describe the time. Okay, like when we say بليلة, بليلة, at night. Also, it means to explain to the reason of what happened, like أو مثل بسرطانة. أو مثل بسرطانة. He died because of cancer. Also used to compare between two things. مريم إلى بشخيلن تمنخ منايوثا. مريم إلى بشخيلن تمنخ منايوثا. Maryam is stronger or better than you in math. Also, when it join a verb at the beginning, is going to be the present continue. Okay, it's going to mean the present continue. For example, أنا إيون بدراسة. أنا إيون بدراسة. I am studying. That's from first person male. The second letter, the dependent preposition, is dalath, which means who, which, whose, and also means of. Let's just take an example for which, who, which, whose. Maryat Parqan. Maria et Parqan, the Lord who saved us. Of course, I just have one example there. We're gonna have more when it means which and whose. And when it means of, okay, kthawa alaha, the God's book, literally means the book of God, the book of God, and also means from. When I'm gonna say, example here, Ishaq Nineveh. Ishaq Nineveh means Isaac from Nineveh. The next letter is waw, means and, to join two things. ثيلا بطرس وبولس من أثرة. ثيلا بطرس وبولس من أثرة. Paul and Peter came from homeland. And the final one is, or the last one is lemeth, which means to when joined the noun. أنا كبن تزالي المدرسة. أنا كبن تزالي المدرسة. The next type of the proposition in Syriac is the independent proposition. Those are words, means they give the whole meaning by themselves. Chapter 6, we're going to learn more about those in Chapter 6 with more example. Let's just read those words together. From the right column on page 70. Bathar, after. Bathra, behind or back. Qam, before. Khotha, under. Benath, between. The second column to the left. Gawe, by or in. With. Laya, to the top. Resha, above. Min, from. Examples: Bathard Ilana, Bathard Betha, Qamed Betha, Khothan Mutra, Benath Haywan. More examples: Si Shqol Zuze Minna, go take money from her. Talking to the second person male. Maqa shqilla minne, how much she took from him. Maqa shqilla minne. The other preposition is on page 71. Ta, the one I already mentioned before, means for, to. When exactly is going to mean for and when is going to mean to. The preposition ta has two meanings, depends on its subject. If it follows by noun, it means for, and it means to if it follows by verb. For example, two examples on page 71 on the top. Adi shaqta ila tababi. Adi shaqta ila tababi. The second one, Ana kibn ta damkhan. Ana kibn ta damkhan. Ana kibn damkhan. Sometimes you hear it because ta with the verb in spoken language, it sounds d. Ana kibn damkhan. Siame, in the second or the next one, siame, the plural form. Plural forms are indicated by placing two big dots, and they call siame, two big dots above a letter, okay, and replace the skapa, and this is what is going to happen. You know that all noun and adjectives in Syriac, they end with the skapa and alap at the end. Skapa on a alap at the end and skapa on a preceding letter. Okay, so what is going to happen? We're going to replace those two siame, two big dots for siame, and change the skapa to န့绪, to a, the sounds of open e, ﷺ. If you read the grammar in page 71, it says if the word contains one resh, r, then the two dots are replacing above the resh, which is the line above the resh is going to be replaced by those two dots, regardless of where it is the word. For example, daira is singular, dair. Look at this, how exactly we change the skapa to ﷺ, and we replace the two dots, we put the two dots above the resh. Another one, gawra, man, gawra, man, in a plural. What about if I have two resh in one word? So the two dots is going to be on a last resh from right to left. Alright, not every word has a resh, letter resh, r. So where are we going to put this two dot, or these two dots for siame? Appendix F is giving you all the details, but I will make it simple for you. You can put it on the, if the noun is masculine, you can put it on the letter before the last, before alap, because all of them they end with the alap. If it's feminine, you can put it in any letter has no vowel. On the top of any letter has no vowel. As in any language, always there is some kind of exception with plural. Like, do not follow the rules we already mentioned before, that we move the a to a at the end and we put the siame on the top. Especially, you know, this is not going to be always true with the feminine, and we need to we're going to study this one when we're going to cover the feminine. So some of those exceptions, it says here, some words in page 71, some words have a feminine from the singular, in the singular form, and a masculine form in the plural. Means like they look like feminine, okay, but when you put, they are feminine, but when you make them on plural, they're gonna take the feminine form. Now you're gonna say, what is the feminine form? The feminine form, a word end with the tau alap, tau and alap at the end. So example on page 71, it says miltha, word. Miltha is word, is end with a tau alap. We're gonna study that one in a minute. It's, in the plural it says mille, which is in the masculine, have no tau alap. Beta, egg, bi'e, there's no tau alap. And sometimes they have a masculine form in the singular, but when you put them in a plural, they're gonna give the feminine form. That's mean they're gonna have the tau and alap at the end. Example, nausha, soul. If we're gonna put them in a plural, it's gonna be naushatha. Baba, babawatha. Baba, babawatha. More of the example, Qritha, Korea, villages. Bakhta, insh. Look at this one, does not even look like the singular one. Bakhta, woman. Insh, woman. Okay, that totally different. Betha, house. Bat, houses. Sapra, morning. Saprutha. And shata, year. Shin, years. Feminine and masculine form. Here, easy really to make feminine and masculine. And we're gonna have also some exception in this case. The masculine does not end with the tau alap. Feminine does. Again, all noun and adjective, they end with the alap and isqapa before. So if the letter before alap at the end is tau and isqapa on it, that's mean 99% the word is feminine. If it's not, 99% is masculine. Some of those examples, some rules. All male names, Shimmed Urza, male, are male like in Elia, Elijah, and Ishaq, Isaac. All female names, န့wa, are females like in Shushan and Warina. Name of the cities and villages, except a few of them, cardinal directions, and all letters names are feminine. Some of those examples on page 72, I have this table. You have masculine, then feminine. Okay, masculine, feminine, plural, and the meaning. Okay. Malka, king. The first one, Malka, for first line, or first column, sorry, first line. First column to the right, first line. Malka, Maliktha as a feminine, queen. In the plural for king, kings, Malke. For queens, Malkiatha. Now, I want you to pay attention how exactly we form the plural of feminine. With the masculine really is simple, but the feminine always there is change. Beside we add the two dots, you need to figure out, or you need to pay attention to that one. Gawra, man. Bakhta, women. For plural, for man, gawre, and for women, insh. Again, this one of those exception we need to pay attention, because bakhta is a singular. To put it in a plural is going to be insh for women. The next one, malpana, teacher. Malpanitha for female teacher. Malpane, teachers, male teachers. Malpanyatha, female teachers. Torah, ball. Tawirta, cow. Tore, Tauriyatha. Ramana, Ramanitha. Ramane, Ramanyatha. Zamara, Zamarta. Zamare, Zamariyatha. The second column in page 72, at the bottom of 72, the following are common nouns, okay, places, things, and ideas. For example, the right column, Tura, mountains, you know, they don't have, is always masculine, there is no feminine. Tura. Kthawa, ثاوي book, books. مذيتا مذيناثا. ماثا مثواثا. Exception to the rules, okay, on page 73. As with every set of rule or pattern, there are always exceptions. Some of the most common exceptions are listed below. The only class of exception consists of nouns that are feminine in gender but do not have the ݹ alap at the end. ݹalap at the end. Remember when I said 99%? So there always are some exception. Look at this table on in the top of page 73. Either hand does not end with the ˋ alap, is a feminine. Idatha in the plural. Now when you put it in a plural, most of them or all of them, they're gonna have the ˋ alap. Even though singular form does not have ˋ alap, you're gonna have the ˋ alap at the in the plural form. Yumma, mother or mom, sorry. Yummatha, moms. Ara, ground or earth. Aratha. Shimsha, sun. Shimshatha, even though there is only one son, but we can put that one in a plural. Ilana, ilan. Here is kind of no ˋ alap. Ilan. Kasa, kasatha. Aina, ain. Aqla, aqlatha. The other exception consists of nouns that are masculine in gender, but they end with the ˋ alap, like ˋ alap as a feminine form. And here some of them are classical words. We use them here for example. Sauta, which is a verb. He listened, end with the ˋ alap. Pahta, Motha, and Ziqta. Another notes here, the pairing members of the human and animal body, most of them are feminine in gender and do not end with a ˋ alap, except one. So everything in the human body or animal body, they have pair of them, like hands, legs, eyes, ears, shoulders. Those are feminine in gender, even though they do not end with the ˋ alap. Example, qarna, horn. Eye, aina. Natha. Natha end with the ˋ alap, but in fact is natha is in a spoken language. If you're going to go to the classic language, is idna, does not end with the ˋ alap. Kathpa, okay, shoulders, and also rusha is shoulder. Ida, hand. Aqla, leg. The second notes here, it says some nouns are masculine only. They do not have feminine noun, like anpa is a type of bird. Baqa, mosquito. Nishra, eagle. Udha, owl, which is in a classical language. In a spoken language we use buma. The third person auxiliary verbs is and are. We need to learn those now. In the form of first, second, third person. First person we called parsopa kamaya. Second person parsopa trayana. Third person parsopa tlithaya. On page 74, okay, those is giving you that we're going to cover this one in this chapter. The rest of to be verb, am, you, was, were, being, been, to have, and to do, auxiliary verbs, will be covered in chapter 7 and 8 with examples. Note in the bottom of page 74, subject nouns ana, I, akhni, we, ayit, you for masculine, ayat, you for feminine, akhtun for plural, he, au, she, ai, they, any, can be omitted in Syriac conversation. Only we say them when we need to emphasize the fact or the thing is happening. Okay, the to be is and are appear in the following forms for the third person in Syriac. So on the bottom of that page 74, there is a table. The right column, ile, which means is for male or masculine, sorry. Ile for masculine. Example, betha ile raba. Betha ile raba. The house is big. Ila, which means is for feminine. Siyara ila smokta. Siyara ila smokta. The car is red. Ila means are for plural when we say they are. Ila. خيار إلى يروق. خيار إلى يروق. خيار إلى يروق. The last things we need to cover is the question words in Syriac, بقارة. From the right column, إيمن, when, okae, where, maha, what, tamaha, why. Also why is qiy. Qiy. So I have two words or two words we use them for why. Tamaha, qiy. Man, who. Dman, whose. Maqa, how much. The second column to the left. Maqa, how much. Ukuma, how many. Dekh, how. Ema, which. Could maqa, how often. I will see you in the next chapter video. Thank you.